Hello. I've had a few technical difficulties this morning. I've actually already streamed this once, but the stream didn't work, so we're going to go through it again. So guys, thank you so much for checking in and watching this tripod headstand workshop for beginners. Okay, so for me, the second time; for today, for you, the first time. Okay, right, so before we get into this, please take your time. Don't rush anything. Skill acquisition takes time, it takes consistency to get. Okay, so we're going to go through every progression with this, and we're just going to go from there. We're going to go through everything straight up to the full tripod. So first things first, however, as always with any physical activity, we want to warm up, right? So first things first, we're going to start with the neck. Yeah, we're going to spend a lot of time upside down. So let's make sure that we warm up the neck properly. Up and down. Left and right. Okay, next we're going to get into the shoulders. Just going to do some elbow drives. So we're going to sit in this kneeling position. We're going to drive the elbows backwards, squeezing the shoulder blades together at the top end. Just a few more. Okay, next we're going to get into the elbow circles. This will still go into the shoulders, into the ball and socket joints of the shoulders, and we just want to get them warmed up. Change direction. Shake it out. Shake, shake, shake. Okay, let's get into the wrists now. So we're going to come to a 4-point box position. That's going to mean that your knees are directly below the hips and your hands are directly below the shoulders. And we're going to drive forwards and backwards. Do about 10 of these. Okay, ease out from there. Fingers out to the sides. I'm going to go from side to side. Again, I'm going to go for about 10. Ease out from there. Next, we're going to take the fingers, we're going to have them facing towards the knees this time. Want that inner elbow tracking forwards. It's just easier in this position. If this is quite challenging for you, you feel a lot of pressure build up in the wrists, feel free to bring your fingers close to the knees and just apply a little bit of pressure by driving the butt towards the heels. And don't forget to keep breathing. It's something in life that you can't opt out of, so just keep breathing. Right, okay, next, from this position, we're going to go back of the wrists. Again, this is one of those things where there might be a lot of pressure build up in the wrists, so make sure you bring your fingers back towards the knees. If this is still a lot of pressure, just hold in this position and don't apply any movement. I'm just going to come a little bit further forwards, drive the butt back. Ease out. So we have them wrists out. Shake it out. Next, we'll take it into the shoulders. We're just going to warm up the scapula a little bit. So we're going to come back to that 4-point box position. We're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together and release. Imagine you've got some fingertips on your spine, just between the shoulders, and you're going to grab them fingers. Ease out. We're going to add onto this now by doing some cat-cows. This is going to help to activate the glutes and activate the core. So you want that inner elbow tracking forwards all the way through this. Hammock the belly towards the floor, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in and out. In your own time. When we're in this top position, we're going to activate the core, we're going to activate the glutes a little bit. Let's take a couple more. Okay, let's ease out, shake it out. Okay, so what we'll do next is we're going to get into the basic setup. Now the setup for no matter which tripod that we're going to look at is exactly the same. I'm going to do your head in because I'm going to keep on mentioning what to do, and we're going to do it in sequence. Okay, so apologies for that. Please take your time with this and do not rush. Okay, you'll get more out of the practice if you just take your time as opposed to rushing ahead and trying to jump in. Right, so first things first. I'll just demonstrate it first, and then we can work together. We can all do it together. Okay, and guys, if this is the first time coming to Natural Bodies Coaching, then hit the like button, give us a thumbs up, let us know that you're watching, that you're enjoying the content, and if you haven't subscribed, then please consider subscribing. We would really appreciate that. Okay, so let's get into the basic setup. Okay, so in terms of the hand position, the hands are going to be directly in front of the knees. Inner elbow tracks forwards, head goes down, butt goes up, and just hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We come down, ease out, shake it out. Okay, so people ask me a lot when we're coaching this kind of stuff, what point of my head should be touching the floor. It's different for everyone because anatomically speaking, we're all different, right? So a general rule of thumb is if we take our palm, place it on our forehead, drop that middle finger, that is approximately the point of contact with the floor as far as the head is concerned. What we also want is we want the inner elbow tracking forwards when we're upside down, and by that, so when we're in this position, you can see that there's a 90 degree at the elbow here. It's a very strong structural shape, and there's triangles all over this tripod headstand, not just in the 90 degree at the elbow, but in the point of contact from the head to the hands on the floor. We've got a nice strong structural base to move from. Okay. You may have seen people do this on the elbows as well. This, in my experience, is the most accessible for beginners. Okay, because there's a wider base, and it's a much stronger position to move from. You can imagine if you're doing this from the elbows, that the structural support, that base, is much smaller, and so it's harder to acquire the skill from that. So this would be the one that I would advise to go from. Okay, enough of me talking, jabbering on. Let's go again, and if you want, get involved with me. Come on, get off your arse. Let's go. Right, so hands on the floor. Yeah, inner elbow tracks forward, head goes down, arse goes up. You're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Head down, legs down, arms down. Let's rehab the neck out. Take your time. Up and down. Okay, so this is where I'm going to ask you to practice this safely. So if there's any twinges in the neck, even after this basic setup, any twinges in the neck, just stop the practicing. Put your ego to one side and just watch the video. You can always come back to this at a later date. Okay, it'll be on YouTube. Okay, so yeah, no skill acquisition is worth injuring yourself for. I just want to say that again. No skill is worth injuring yourself for. You want to stay consistent. So if you injure yourself, you're gonna get away from that consistency because you're gonna be out of action. So please look after yourself. Listen to what your body is telling you. Okay, take your time. Okay, so just getting back to that arm position, that 90 degree at the elbow, right? Why we want the inner elbow tracking forwards like this? Well, if it's not tracking forwards like this and the elbows are pointing out to the side, when we start to move forwards, the elbows want to go backwards, okay? And this will break all of the structure, structural support. There'll be no engagement in the top half of the body, and the position becomes really weak, and then you'll be relying on your neck mainly to keep you up there and your core. So let's make sure that we're tracking those elbows backwards. Okay, so we'll get into progression number 2, and this time we're going to lift one leg, one knee onto one elbow, and you're going to take your time. So let's get in position. Okay, hands down, inner elbow tracks forwards, heads down, butt up. Walk forwards if you need to get a little bit more space. Put the knee on top of the elbow, points for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down we come, drop the knees. Rehab the neck out. Get into the practice of doing that. Breathe. Rehab the wrists if you need to. Okay, so how did that feel? Any issues? If you've got any questions about this, or any other fitness related questions, just drop a comment below and I'll get to it when I can. Okay, right, so moving on from there, as you can see that the setup was exactly the same, and this time we're going to alternate the legs. Okay, so it'll be one at a time going up. I'm going to turn this way facing the wall, so you'll have to excuse me. I am going to tuck my t-shirt in because nobody wants to see my belly on a Sunday morning, or any morning for that matter, I'll be honest with you. Okay, so let's turn this way and we'll get into it. Okay, so hands go down, inner elbow tracks forwards, head goes down, raise the butt, walk the feet in if you need to create space. We're going to hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Leg goes down, other one goes up, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down we come. Knees down, head up. Let's rehab that neck out. If the sound is gone a little bit funky, it's because my microphone is moving around. I didn't find a nice placement for it. So hopefully you can hear me. Okay. Right, so how did that feel? Feel pretty good? Okay then. Right, so we'll move on to the next progression. And this time we're going to go into a tuck tripod. So basically that's going to mean that both knees are going to be on the elbows. And we're going to do this twice. We'll do it twice through, and we will, we're just going to hold it for like 5 seconds, okay? We don't need more than that whilst we're just getting into this. Obviously, if you're going to practice over time on your own, then you can go 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15, 60 seconds if you want, okay? Okay then, right, so here we go. So the setup is exactly the same, isn't it? Because I did tell you that, all right? Okay, so your hands go down first. Okay, then what is it? It's your elbows. Are you not listening? Elbows track forwards. Head goes down. Butt goes up. Walk the feet in if you need to. Place a knee. Place the opposite knee. And just hold. You may feel a lot of pressure dumping into the elbows from the knees. That's fine. Don't worry about it. And down we come. That must have been 5 seconds. Head comes up. rehab the neck out, rehab the wrists out if you need to, shake it out. Okay, how did that feel? Feel good? Right, we'll go for another attempt at that. Okay, again, I want you to check in with how the neck is feeling, how your shoulders are feeling. If anything feels even remotely twingy, hurting, you feel, oh, that feels a bit stiff, just stop the practice. Okay, it's not worth it. Just back off. Okay, right, so we're going to go for another attempt at that. I mean, when you're up in this position, it shouldn't feel like you're using, like, you're having to use like a lot of like strength to get into it. There'll be different pressures that you're feeling, probably more through the head than anything, and a little bit on the wrists. But it shouldn't be that you're feeling like you're having to get like the whole body and behind it and really be using like too much strength. There is a prerequisite strength, but not so much. Okay, right, let's go again. And again, we'll just go for 5 seconds just on that tuck version. So here we are, hands go down, inner elbow. What does it do? It tracks forward. You're right, you are listening. Okay, head goes down, butt goes up, walk the feet in, tuck, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down we come, nice and slow, don't rush it, rehab the neck out, rehab the wrists out. Okay, so the next version, we are going to get one leg in the air. Okay, and for this we'll just have like one attempt at this. For this, you may want to use the wall, so you'll be facing away from the wall. If you have any, if you just want a bit more security, you can use the wall for that. Right, okay then, so I'll do two attempts at it. I'll do one from the side, and I'll do one facing the wall first, get that out of the way, and then I'll do one from the side. Okay, again, we're just going to hold for 5 seconds, nothing too long. Again, please continue to monitor what's going on with the neck. Now, there may be a temptation with this one to kick up into it. Right, I'm going to advise you, please don't do that. Take the time and let the core do the work. So when people kick up into a position like this, because it's a dynamic movement, it just increases the risk of like neck injury, and you just don't want that. Who wants that? I don't want that for you, and you certainly shouldn't want that for you, because you want to keep practicing, right? Because what did I say earlier? Consistency is key. Yeah, with any skill acquisition, not just this. There's lots of things in life that require you to be consistent, to show up and have that consistency. Right, so enough blabber. Let's get on. Right, so I'm going to face this way again. My hands go down, exact same setup. Yeah, inner elbow tracks forwards, head goes down, butt goes up. Walk forward a little bit to create space. Tuck and raise one leg. Can hold that position, maybe get a little bit more elevation here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down we come. Take your time, shake it out, rehab the neck out. Okay, so we'll go for another attempt at that, and this time we'll go from the side view. And then from there, it will be the full tripod. So again, try not to kick up into it. So whilst we're just talking about that kick up, let me just demonstrate it now for what I want you to avoid. Yeah, we want to build, if you don't have the prerequisite core strength to get you into a tripod position, then it's best to go on a pregression. Some people say regression, pregression, to get that skill acquisition. Okay, so rather than risk any risky movements like kicking into it. And what I mean by that, so being from this position and kicking up like that. I mean, sure, I can handle it, but it's not something that I like to do. I'd rather recruit the core to get me into that position. I've got everything under control. We reduce the risk of injury because we're taking our time, and because we're taking our time, we can feel every part of every bit of recruitment that the body needs to get into the position. When I kick up into it, it's very dynamic. I'm really not using a lot of core for that. Yeah, and then there's the possibility, and that risk is increased that I might get a neck injury. So just avoid that. Okay, so let's get into the side view. Let's go together. Let's get into it, and we'll go for that single leg tripod. Right, okay, so hands are down, aren't they? Yes, they are. Inner elbow tracks forwards, head goes down, butt goes up, knees go onto elbows, raise one leg, hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down we come. Okay, there we go. Right, the final one that we're going to look at, or the final one for the workshop at least, is the full tripod. Okay, once I've done this, I'll do a demonstration of another entry into the tripod, which is a straddle tripod. And for some people that have got the prerequisite core strength already to do this, sometimes the straddle tripod is much easier to get into, but you do need more body awareness around posterior pelvic tilt, which is this, yeah, squeezing the glutes, tucking the pelvis under. You need some body awareness about that, and a little bit more control over the core. And when I talk about the core, I am not talking about the abs. I'm talking about the transverse abdominis, which are the core muscles that sit underneath the abs. They're the ones that we want to strengthen. Okay, right. Next, let's get into that full tripod. I'm going to do it from a side view. We're only going to look for 5 seconds, hold it for 5 seconds, and then I'll face this way, and we'll do it again and hold for 5 seconds, and then we can have a look at that straddle entry for those of you that want to do that. Is my hair really flat now? Probably is. Right, okay, so let's get into it then. We're almost there, almost at the end. So, hands down. Inner elbow does what? It tracks forwards, yeah. Head goes down, butt lifts, knees go up, squeeze, lift, hold, squeeze the glutes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down we come. How did that feel? Feel okay? Now listen, if you've been following along with this and that particular progression of the tripod is not accessible, just go with the version that is accessible to you. Keep working that version until you feel ready to move on to the next progression. Now, that might mean doing more core exercises, things like a hollow body that could help. So simply raising the shoulders off the floor, the lumbar has connection with the floor, and just holding in this position, looking for 30 to 60 seconds. And something just as basic as that goes a long way to help to strengthen that core and give you the prerequisite core strength that you need for this. Okay, so let's have a look at one more attempt at the full tripod before we get into the straddle. Okay, I'm going to face the wall. Okay, right. So here we go. Hands down, elbows do what? They track forward. Good, you're listening. Head down, butt up, walk the feet in. Elevate. If you need to use the wall by putting one leg on the wall, that's perfectly fine. Hollow out that body, squeeze the glutes for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down we come. Okay, not bad, not bad. Rehab the neck out if you need to. Okay, so next we're going to look at a straddle entry into the tripod headstand. And as I said before, if you have got the prerequisite core strength and you found that the tripod that we've just looked at is easy, then try the straddle. In some ways, sometimes when you do have that prerequisite strength, the straddle is actually an easier entry into the tripod. Okay then, so I'll do one version of this, just one practice of it. I'm going to face this way. Now, not only with this do you want the prerequisite strength for your core, but you want to have some good hip flexibility as well, because obviously it's a straddle. Now, the straddle doesn't have to be crazy wide. Okay, so it's not about being able to like do the splits or anything like that. It's just about having enough enough flexibility just to, well, you'll see what I mean, and you'll see that my straddle is not like massively wide, and that's because I'm restricted for space in here. But just like with a lot of this practice, whether it's calisthenics or whether it's yoga, most bodyweight stuff, if you've got enough space to lay down in, then you've got enough space to work out, to have an effective workout where you don't have to go to the gym, and you can strengthen your body, you can build muscle, and you can even lose weight or reduce body fat percentage rather than lose weight. Okay, so let's look at the straddle entry. Yeah, so here we go. So the entry is still the same. Yeah, so by now you should know the mantra as we go in to doing this in sequence. Hands down, inner elbow tracks forwards, head down, butt up. This time we're going to go a little bit wider on the legs, so in that straddle position, lift from the core. Oops, there goes my light. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straddle, 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 straddle. And that's the straddle entry. For me personally, I find that easier to do than the conventional version. Okay, but again, I have the prerequisite core strength to be able to do that, and awareness of my pelvic tilt or posterior pelvic tilt. Okay, so the final thing I'm going to look at before we cool down is we're going to combine two movements. We're going to combine a crow pose with a tripod. Okay, and this is just a nice little 2-move flow to be able to practice. So if you're doing this, it's just a chance to play a little bit, and you're not getting stuck into how long you're going to hold a position or how many reps you're going to do. And again, it's a form of meditation in action, because you must be present when doing any of this kind of practice. Because if you start thinking about other things, thinking about what's going to happen later in the day, who you're going to see, blah blah blah, then you're not present, and you can risk injury just by that little lapse of concentration. Okay, right. So just before I get into this, if you've not subscribed, please subscribe, or at the very least, drop a like on this video. Let me know that you enjoyed it. And before I get into this, the next workshop that we're going to do is an L-sit workshop. We're going to use parallel bars for that. It is a beginner's workshop, so if you're interested in acquiring an L-sit skill, then come and join us. It's going to be about 2 weeks from now before it goes live, before we do the live stream of it. Yeah, so just let me know. Again, if you've got any questions about anything fitness related or even lifestyle related, just drop me a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, right, that's enough waffle. Let's get on with the crow to tripod. Okay, so I'm going to get in my low yogi squat, the Malasana. Hands go down. I'm going to be in that crow position. Hold, head down, tripod, hold, come back down, crow, and relax. Okay, so that's a little 2-move flow that you can practice if you have your crow pose down and you have your tripod down. Now, even if you've got your tuck tripod, you can still do crow to tuck tripod and just have some fun with it. Okay, right, so that's the end of the workshop. All we need to do next is just to cool down. Right, so first things first, we're going to just rehab the wrists out. So what I'm going to ask you to do is squeeze around the wrist joint. You're going to squeeze relatively hard, get a little bit of separation in the capsule joint, light fist, and then rehab the wrist. So you're going to roll that. Creating that little bit of space in the capsule joints will just allow the synovial fluid just to lubricate the joint, and it'll just ease off any of that pressure that we've been building up throughout this workshop. Go over to the next hand, squeeze at that joint, create the separation in the capsule joint, and just roll that out. I really hope that you've enjoyed this today, and that you'll join me for the L-sit in a couple of weeks. Any questions, just let me know. Okay, so from there we're going to go to a lounge chair. So we're going to sit in this position. The hands are going to be behind the back. We're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together. This is going to help to elevate the chest. You're going to keep the chest pushed up towards the ceiling. Butt comes forwards towards the heels a little bit. We're just going to hold here. Squeeze, press. Don't forget to breathe. Breathing, it's one of those things you cannot opt out of in life. So you just got to keep doing it anyway. Okay, so just keep breathing. Ease out. Last one. We're going to come onto our belly. Press through the floor. Shoulders back. We don't want to be depressing the shoulders here. Press and push. Breathe and hold. Ease out. And that's it for today. For any of those stretches at the end, if you need to hold them a little bit longer, feel free. You can always come back to this video to practice and to go over the tutorials that we've shown in this video. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Any questions about fitness or lifestyle, just drop them in the comments section, and I'll answer you and get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, thanks for joining me. Join me for the L-sit in a couple of weeks. Keep an eye out in the Facebook group for the notifications for that, and also on the YouTube community page as well. Okay then, thanks for joining us. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you on the next one.